Good evening everyone and welcome to yet another episode of FC Noida's Beyond the Whistle series. I am your host Avi and today we are at a very special place. Today we are at the place where FC Noida started its journey as a professional youth football club. Today we are at Pacific World School. So the club's journey in Pacific World School began in 2019. It's been 4 years since we've been operating here and now we have 250 kids enrolled here. The journey has been quite a roller coaster one. In 2019 we started with 10 to 15 kids and as all of you know, in 2020 COVID lockdown hit us. We resumed operations in mid of 2021 and I'll share a very interesting story for you. At that time I was the sales intern at FC Noida football schools and I was the one who used to call parents and students to give their trial sessions. We used to hardly get 5-6 trial sessions a week and it was a big struggle to get people on board, to get people on ground. But now FC Noida has grown to such heights, we've shown our capabilities, we've shown our coaching standards that people have a reliability and trust factor with us. That now in 2021 where we were struggling to get numbers in a span of 2 years in which there was a hard hit COVID lockdown, now we are at a full-fledged center here at Pacific World School where over 250 kids are training under our curriculum, under our methodology. So the training sessions at Pacific World School go on from Monday to Saturday on all 6 days. The training session is divided into 2 batches, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and the other batch is on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. The timings on all these 6 days is from 5 to 7:30, where the time is divided into 2 slots. The first slot is from 5 to 6:15 p.m. and the second slot is from 6:15 to 7:30 p.m. So currently the first slot of Friday training is going on and our young superstars and footballers are getting their training session in. A lot of parents come down to our center and ask us, why should we train our kids at FC Noida football schools? Why should we enroll them? Well, that is a question for the coaches. So come, let's talk to our coaches and get an insight into their coaching style and practices. Now we have Sharad sir here with us. He takes care of the L5 batch. And Sharad sir, so my question for you would be, what is the objective of today's training session and what are you trying that the kids will learn in today's session?
Okay, so before I answer that question, I would just like to tell you how exactly I plan, not just me but all the coaches, how they go about planning their session. So we have this thing called phase of player development. You can say our curriculum basically focuses on 3 football action, which is communication, decision making and execution. So if you want me to define what exactly phase of player action is, player development is, it is the phase in which our players are struggling. So for example, currently I'm working on decision making. That is the phase of player development my players are struggling at the moment. So to answer your question, my session plan is basically to plan activities where I'm trying to keep my players in a situation which would naturally require them to work on decision making. So that is how we go about deciding the phase of player development and then accordingly planning the session objective and the session plan.
Got it. So today's activities are mostly on how to enhance their decision making in a game making scale. Okay, and Sharad sir, my next question would be when you design a session planner, what is your intention behind creating a session planner for a certain day? How do you go about that?
Correct. So we basically want to plan the session because whenever we plan the session, we are actually trying to visualize the session because there could be problems in the session during the session which we want to visualize beforehand, because then only we would be able to plan everything. We have to improvise a lot during the session, and one very important thing is the coaching points which we give to the players during the session. Again, deciding the phase of player development helps us in deciding the coaching points. So in a way, for example, we prepare our players in the warm-ups 10-15 minutes initially in the session. That way, that is similar to preparing us for the session when we plan the session plan. So again, the phase of player development helps us in deciding the activities overall session plan as well.
Thank you so much, Sharad sir, for your insights into your training session. There is one question which I'm asking every coach today. Sharad sir, who is your favorite football player?
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi is Sharat sir's favorite
Sorry, I
player.
took 1 second, but the answer is always there. Lionel Messi it is.
Lionel Messi is everyone's favorite, I feel. So thank you so much, Sharat sir, for your time. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
We have with us Dhruv, who is specialized goal player coach. So Dhruv, my question for you here is, at this age, at the age of 7, 10, 13, kids dream of scoring the perfect goal. They dream of imitating Ronaldo, they dream of imitating Messi and score the goal so that their teams win. How do you make sure that players are encouraged to be a goal player, and rather than scoring the perfect goal, they try to save it?
Yes, so Messi and Ronaldo have reached the peak of their careers through the likes of Casillas, Ter Stegens. So it is difficult sorting out keepers, but we have some kids who are really interested in being the Casillas, being the Peter Cechs. And obviously, as you use the word goal player, we don't encourage our players to just stick to that goalkeeper mark. A goal player is a person who is a part of those 11, who builds up the game. So for that, we have our isolation training of 20 minutes, which I spend with the keepers, and for the rest 55 minutes of our training sessions, those goal players go back to their specific teams for their team trainings. And in their team trainings, they get those situations in which they can actually take part as goal players and not as goalkeepers, because for those 20 minutes they are goalkeepers, and for the rest of those 55 minutes of the training sessions they are goal players. So yeah, this is how we...
So thanks, Dhruv. So I request the audience to pay a bit more attention to this part, where we are strictly not using the term goalkeepers. We at FC Noida use the term goal players, and as Dhruv mentioned, goalkeepers are more than just saving the goals. They need to be called as goal players because they are an integral part of the team.
Yes.
If you see how Manchester United are currently using Andre Onana and how they use it, that's a perfect definition, I would say, of a goal player.
Yes, for sure. The Onanas, the Edersons, the Ter Stegens, all the German goalkeepers, they've reached their peaks because they know how to build up the game from the back. They know how to call to their players, and they're not just bounded to saving the goal.
Yeah. So thanks, Dhruv. So that teaches us how a goalkeeper needs to be very comfortable with his feet, and he has to be the 11th player rather than just staying at the goal, and he has to team building up. So Dhruv, my question, one question that I'm asking every coach: who is your favorite football player?
So as most people don't know here, I started out as a midfielder. So till the age of 13, I was a number 10 for my school football team. I also represented the state, CBSE states in school as a number 10. So growing up, I used to watch a lot of Mesut Ozil.
Okay.
And
That's how you're an Arsenal fan?
you could say that, yeah.
So thanks, Dhruv. Thanks for the insight. Hi, Shubham sir. Shubham sir here at FC Noida takes care of the under 13 elites team. Shubham sir, my question is, the club puts a lot of emphasis on coach education. We have monthly coach education sessions to teach the coaches how to be well equipped so that they can develop the players appropriately. What is the role, how important is coach education in today's scenario for a coach and for the development of football?
I think coach education plays a very important role, especially at our club, because the kind of education that we get, it's not the same as the others, because it's a very rational way of thinking. It encourages critical thinking about everything. So also it kind of binds the whole club together, because we have multiple centers across Dwarka and Noida, Greater Noida. So it is important to have all the coaches understand the same kind of to get the same kind of education, so that all the players are getting the same kind of training. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ एक ही जगह पे there's one kind of training going on and over there there's something else. So this coach education meetings that we have every end month, it helps all of us stay on the same page, and it encourages us to question each other as coaches and to make each other better, because that is also, I think, very important, to get feedback from other coaches and to get in general more information, because everyone is dealing with the same kind of kids. बच्चे same है, football same है. So yeah, it helps a lot, especially at FC Noida.
Yeah. And these coach education sessions, they are taken by Anshul sir, and Anshul sir has so much knowledge about football coaching. How is it to have him as a mentor, and how is it to have him as the one who's teaching you the basics of coaching and how to get the most out of a player? What role does he play?
I think Anshul sir plays a really important role, because the most important thing is Anshul sir is not teaching us as such coaching A to Z. He just allows us to he gives us a platform to think about what is going on with our sessions and what is wrong, because every player has a different let's say a different footballing problem, and as coaches we have to tackle these problems and kind of find a solution with the sessions that we create. So what Anshul sir does for us is he gives us a platform to kind of think, and he gives us the tools to think how we can get above that problem through critical thinking and through logic and through rational thinking, and not just because someone said it. So that plays a really important role, because it helps us understand football to its depth, and to understand the basics of football and to solve it from the root and not just apply a solution to a said problem.
One question that I'm asking all the coaches today, Shubham sir, who is your favorite football player?
Lionel Messi.
Thank you. So guys, that was it for today's episode, where we showed you a glimpse of how our coaches develop our players at Pacific World School. Before ending the episode, I would like to thank the management at Pacific World School, who showed a lot of trust in the beginning when they permitted us to start our center here back in 2019. So that was all for today's episode, guys. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.